afternoon. It's so great that you're all here back in track 2 in our round room. So you can ask a lot of questions. In this session, and I can imagine why it is so attractive, we're going to see about 5 things you must do because of AI. We wouldn't be here without our sponsors. So I like to mention a few, like RCS, David Systems, Xperi, Radio Player, Pure Jingles, Radio Intelligence, and Stream Monkey. We are very happy that they are the sponsors of Radiodays Europe. I hand over to Martin. No longer waiting because we have enough time for Hermann.
Thank you very much, Lee. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I hope your lunch was as delicious as mine. We're going to make sure you don't fall asleep with... It wasn't? Yeah. You know what? We do a survey after Radiodays Europe each year, and guess what is the biggest criticism every single year? The food. It's always the food. It gets the worst points, no matter what you do. And I'm sorry, but let's see where it is next year and how much we'll be complaining about the food then. Nobody knows, but it's only 2 more hours, and then we'll know where Radiodays Europe will head in 2025, although this sounds like so long ago. So, 5 things you need to do because of AI starting tomorrow. The original title of this session was AI for Dummies. So if you think you know a lot about AI, this is not you. This is, if you don't know, if you think this is all a miracle, you have no idea, you feel stupid, you're in the right place. This is us, right? This also means in the next 40 minutes, you'll have a lot of chances to ask questions. Ideally, you do, because that's the whole idea. This is why we put it into this room, and this is why we called it Things You Must Do Because of AI, or this is why I would have called it AI for Dummies. We want you to ask your questions and ask the person who knows. And one of the people who really know what they're doing in AI is Hermann. Hermann del Campo is not a very German name, although Hermann the German, but yeah. He calls himself a full-time nerd for media, film, and music. He's a producer. He has his own company since a few years ago, Cyber. And he's one of the few go-to people that sooner or later you end up talking to if you want to know about AI, at least in the German-speaking ecosystem. We're very happy he's here, and I told him, don't be too nerdy, make sure everybody understands, and be really hands-on, so we'll see how that goes. Please welcome Hermann del Campo. This is how it goes. Hermann will do his thing, and after each topic, you have time for questions, right? So get ready. Sure.
Thank you for the warm introduction. So, like I said, I'm a full-time nerd. You will see it. I have some paintings on my arm. It's everything about my favorite movies I love. It goes the whole arm up. So I really love movies. I love media. And round about some years ago, I had a friend of mine who wanted to ask me who you are, bring it to 1 sentence. I love movies, so I have a lot of small scenes I brought to you. This is from Game of Thrones, from the small dwarf, giving some explanation who he is and or what he does. And this is something which is really, it's good to me.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Yeah, so this is fitting to me. So just short wrap up. I'm data scientist, 10 years working now with machine learning in different media fields. I worked for film production companies, different radio stations, TV stations, and I helped to integrate AI solutions for media companies in different stages. Our main business is we integrate AI with growth marketing into companies to help them to grow. And this is a fast wrap up what we do. And some of our clients we are very happy to have them. And we receive the trust from them. And we are going on, so.
Well, what are you talking about? Artificial intelligence?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. We're talking now about artificial intelligence. Everyone is talking about artificial intelligence. Everyone is integrating it. If you go around, I would say 90% have AI integrated into their solutions. And what is artificial intelligence? Just to be honest, there is no artificial intelligence. I just want to calm down the scary people. There is nothing where you need to be scared of. An AGI, some general artificial intelligence, which will be a big brain or something from Terminator, don't exist for the moment. There are some people try to do it, but now we don't have it. Everything what we have is machine learning. There are some cool small tests and research projects what they do where they want to show what happens if you have some unbound artificial intelligence, but they every time fail, and that's why they close them up. For example, Microsoft released one bot and said, let's make it an autonomous small AGI version of artificial intelligence, and let's run it through Twitter. So 16 hours later, they had to shut it down because it became racist and began to mob other peoples and write comments, and very bad comments. So they shut it down. So the most research parts are very interesting. But we're talking every time about machine learning. Just to keep the terminology, I will keep with the word artificial intelligence or AI because it's in all in our minds. And
the final human invention, AI, artificial intelligence.
So if you go to AI, you need data for AI. So AI or machine learning is nothing else than data understood by a machine. How to get more information, more context. For example, if we have a large language model, what you all know, ChatGPT, Gemini, all we have, it is nothing else than billions of text forms, structured, identified, clustered, and labeled. What does it mean? So you take a text, you marker the context, is it a news, it's a poem, what is the text about, and you give more metadata to it that the machine is capable to understand what is in there. Same for image generations and synthetic voice and transcription. Just some small input. Synthetic voice and transcription is something different. You work a lot with audio. A machine don't have ears, so if I went various time on my PC, never have seen any ears there, and you need to know everything about AI in combination with audio is nothing else than image manipulation. For me, audio is image. The most of you think they know, you listen to it, it's something different, it's something special, it goes into your brain, in your ear, it gives you chills. On technical side, for me it's just image because the machine, what I'm using, the machine learning parts, are only making Photoshop with it, using the image of the waves, converting it into a spectrogram and analyzing the spectrogram. It's not working with the audio file, with the sound. It's working just with the image. So some of you guys will know some similar screens, images you have. This is some image detection or object detection. I give it as a good example because I hate it so much. I hate it so much to work on such project if there's no data before, because you need to imagine you receive thousands of pictures like this, and to get the possibility to create some object detection, you need to label first of this thousands image by hand. You marker a box around, bounding box, and tell what it is, and this happens 100 times, 1,000 times. And for a good object detection model, you will have many thousands. In the next steps, when you've labeled some, you can automate it a bit faster, but to have a good result, you need to label it all by yourself, and this preparation takes time, and this is why AI costs so much. GPU power and data preparation. This is also familiar for you. This is how the machine sees the projects, the audio. So if you check out, this is a big red apple. What is here? We see the spectrogram. We see that the AI is showing all the parts of the waves and is symbolizing each part of the phoneme. So if I generate a synthetic voice, something like 11 laps, it knows, I have seen images like that. The wave should be on this part, and the sample rate of the person needs to be on that way, and this is how it generates an image which looks similar to it, that it sounds for us like a voice clone of my voice. Then it takes the information. It looks technically, but nevertheless, takes the information, generates an image, and for us, it's audio. For the machine, it's a cool image. This is everything about text-to-speech, 11 laps, wrap up in 2 sentences.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, we have a big problem because our holy data has been stolen so much on AI, and this is where it becomes interesting. So you need data, but if you don't have the data, you can't build AI. So, for example, I will not name any company names because I don't want to get sued. And there are LLM companies, large language companies, which has scraped all the internet data, website data, categorized it, put it without permission into their system. Same for image generation, over 16,000 artists with images has been used, 330,000 images and 2.5 million from not known places. Synthetic voice, we have 20K of Creative Commons data. And the rest, the speculation from one synthetic voice engine I know, is about 680,000 hours being stolen from YouTube, Spotify, audiobooks, or our radio news, radio spots. What you have there, they record it, they transcribe it, they cut it, and every time when it's a clean speech, they would use it to train the model. And you will think,
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
yeah, I sometimes also think this is madness because we now have some new released stuff here. It is the UAI Act. The UAI Act has been written the last years, last 1.5 years now. And end of the year they got approved, and 2 weeks ago they confirmed it again. It will come, it will happen. On the 1st of January 2026, everyone will directly get fined if they don't follow the AI Act. So everyone who's using AI in their systems need to have information about how AI is implemented. For example, they're categorizing through 5 risks, and if you're in the middle risk area, which everyone is, you need to have transparency about where did your data come from. This is kind of difficult because you can't know it. If you use ChatGPT, please tell me where is your data coming from. I don't know. They say it comes from the internet. It is not valid enough, so you need to be on point. And you need to have transparency on training and framework. What are you using in your data set? And this is why it is very important to understand how it works, how the data is used. This means you should not rely on only the systems which are collecting data. You should check for the UAI Act. If I want to integrate it in my systems, will I be able in 12 or 24 months to use it? It can be that in the 1st January of 2026, it will be cut because you're not allowed to use it and you get fined. And this is something what you need to keep in mind if you integrate it into your systems, and annoy your supplier that they give you the information if you're not having an own AI. But we go now to the real point why you're here.
Neo, sooner or later you're going to realize, just as I did, there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path.
Stop watching the hype. Be the hype. I've seen so many people, they can tell me everything about AI. They can tell me which new update is there, which new functions you receive on each platform. And I ask them, cool, and how do you use it? No, I don't use it, it's just cool to know. Okay, then just stop having as hype. Use it. It can be so helpful, so improving your efficiency. That's why I would recommend you to make it understandable and integrate it into your system and solutions. So write down your action points and start walking the path. Stupid question, but who has started walking? So if you were a child, the most of us start working, we fell down because we don't know how to stabilize. And it's absolutely okay as child to fall down. That's also okay to have failures, to fail on some parts. It's just, you just need to start walking. Yeah. Any questions here for the first part of the that you should stop, be the hype, watch the hype, be the hype?
What does it mean? How can I be the hype? I want to be the hype.
Find ways how to integrate it into your workflow. You're doing one of the coolest podcasts existing, so if you have their step, you want to create a podcast, you want to write a script, you want to have like the red line through the story, how you want to tell the story. If you're doing manually, completely, it will take time and it will cost you a lot of time.
How do I find the right tool to write it for me? What is it? Like, does it matter whether I use ChatGPT or any other?
To be honest, it doesn't matter which large language. The most large language models have the capability to make the basics. It's not that the script does everything for you, because you just put more creativity into it and it gets better and better, but it delivers you some creative spots and some ideas.
So I start with Google, and I Google, give me, or I search for AI text generation, and then something comes up, and I use one of them to help me write my text.
You can use this, or you can use the most known one, ChatGPT, Gemini, Anthropic Claude, Aleph Alpha from Germany, Mistral from France. There are a lot of. And if you want to know more, you can just ask me. I can send you a link.
You or Google?
You
That's
or
good.
Google, sure,
Yes.
sure.
Okay.
It's nearly equal.
Guys, if you have questions, if you want to grill the man, just put your hands up. Don't be shy. Most of us are friends here, so please do. Yes, sir. If you could say where you're coming from and your question, please.
Hi, yes, David James. Is there a chance that if all of the large language models are being trained by the internet, and we're now publishing lots of content to the internet from AI, that the language models just become trained by AI eventually? It becomes a big loop.
It will happen. Okay. It will happen. It's like the copy of the copy of the copy of the copy. But this is something where you as human needs to be in place to make the data analysis, and you need to check the quality of the text. It can be very good result text by AI. You just, when you're integrating the data into the machine learning process, you need to find the value. Is it a very good text or not? This is up to the data scientists working on that large language models. Also, if it's from AI, it's good or not. If it's a bad version, I would kick it out. If it's a good version from AI, doesn't matter. So that's from AI.
So another question here, and then maybe we move on to the next
Sure.
part.
Thank you. I'm Valdis from Latvia. And does it mean now that you need somebody responsible for AI in your company as you need someone responsible for GDPR? And the other question is, should we start building the systems which are connected to AI or use the AI, if those should be cut off just because of that regulation later on?
I would recommend everyone to have someone in place which has some feeling for AI. So I would recommend to have someone which likes this topic and has some passion for it to bring it into your company, because it helps you and makes it easier to integrate this to to your system. And about the second part, just forgot the last part. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, start building the system. Yeah, the important part. I am a fan of cool working systems. You can use so many cool stuff. There are in place here system where you can have everything together. I would just recommend to have it on that level on modular base or pipelines that you can switch to another version or work with your playout system, your news system, and else. Ask them to make it modular that you can switch from easy way. This is the best thing because you don't know who will follow the AI act and who not.
Okay. We have 4 more points and 25 more minutes.
Yeah.
So rock and roll.
Yeah.
You're going for artificial intelligence and you don't want to tell the team.
You're going for artificial intelligence and you don't want to tell your team. This happens a lot. I've visited more than 15 radio stations over the last year, and were introduced to the team, and there were very less who brought the whole team. Mostly I found a task force, AI task force. These are 3-4 people who will get all the training, will get allowance to all the tools, and they will be trained to get better in AI. Officially, they should bring it to the team, but mostly it is like they have no time because they need to grab everything, need to learn. It won't not arrive the team. This is something what I would not recommend to do. Because, you know, managing a radio station or a media company is a team effort. There's no station run just alone by a person. There's every time a team. Without the team, it will fail. And the most important part is you need to train your team. So I would give, or I recommend you to give the possibilities to learn by themselves, giving them workshops, giving them links, give them tutorials to test around, give them some time slot, like 1-2 hours a week, where they have the possibility to learn new stuff. They will not get smarter if you don't help them to get smarter. If you start from top down, you will increase and have a small change of culture. It begins to come bottom up, that your team comes up with an idea. I found a cool tool, can we use it? And then you get more information. This makes a hype in the company. This helps a lot. Yeah, any questions about training the team?
I'm walking around like this, so I see your hands whenever they rise. So don't wait for us to ask if you have a question. Just raise your hand.
Hi, I'm Caroline from Radio Player. So coincidentally, I'm sitting next to a program director, CEO, and whatnot. If he wants to, hire somebody to train the team, how does he differentiate, let's say, a specialist and a so-called specialist? Because suddenly everybody's an AI specialist, and if you dig deep, you know, they spend 2 hours on ChatGPT and just. So how do you determine who's a talker and who's a walker?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good
to the expert.
Good and difficult question. I personally don't feel comfortable to say to someone he's not an expert. It's just I don't know what he has done in this past to a person. So what I can just say is make some proof questions. Where he got this information, how long he's doing, where he gives you some small understanding of the differences between different large language models, for example. What's the biggest difference, for example, between Mistral and ChatGPT? The difference between ChatGPT and Mistral mostly is that Mistral has a very good sense for creativity, creating text. If you want to be fact-based, it is more difficult to train it and to get better results. If you have ChatGPT, it is very good, and you need to understand, for example, how the precision model, to be precise and creative. And if the expert gives you on this different questions you ask deeper, valid, understandable question, which is not just which tool should I use, make him ask how does it work. Because then you got more sense about it, how it works, does it really help, is it just some blah blah from the website, or it's very going deeper. For example, if you would ask me difficult question to an AI model, we can have a deep dive and we write down the mathematics about data science. We both will fall asleep because it's very, very, very annoying and boring, but can be done. So prove him, make hard questions about how this tool works, for example. Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks. Maybe go to maybe go to the next point.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it.
This is not a problem if you don't understand it, but you need to understand your business. You need to understand your business. You need to be able and capable to understand how your business works and why you need AI or how you can integrate AI. There's some small task I give most to our clients, which makes it very interesting and very helpful to understand how the companies works and how the media companies are organized. I ask different team members how you would create a weather script. You ask 4 people, you get 5 answers. Because I get the answer, yeah, this is a bit difficult because you need to understand this. We are organic grown, so we taught each other, everyone had found his way. This is cool, this is absolutely okay. If it works, good. But how should I automate the stuff? Which workflow should I use? Which process is the right one? Which is the most efficient one? And this was when I challenged them and asked them, can you write it down once, please, as workflow charts, just with some small bubbles? I start going on weather.com, I check out the regions, put out the 3-day weather report, I'm writing an artful read, copy it to my mask, I'm recording it, putting it into the playout system, sending it. Yeah, okay, the second guy is doing it completely differently. And I need to know which is the right way. I can tell you, you need to know it, which is the most efficient way, what you need to do. And this is kind of crazy because some companies on stations, for them it's very easy. We had it nearly half a day, every important workflow written down. Some others take 3, 4, 6 months to do it, and they said, it took us too much time, we couldn't finish it. Okay, I can't help you without knowing how your workflow works, and you want to know from me how they can be automated.
But it is interesting, isn't it, that something that comes from the outside, like so-called artificial intelligence, forces you or invites you to look on the inside, how your own system actually works and what is actually happening every single day in your station.
Yeah, and it's like, I know, we at the stations, at the media companies, we have so much to do, so less employees to help us, and we need to be efficient, we need to create content, we need to tell stories, we need to sell stuff, we need to write campaigns. But this is very, very important. This is one of the reasons why if you have some guy which has like a master in economics or studying stuff like that, he comes down and he comes into a new company, he's challenging all workflows first of all, where he can save money or where he can get more money out of it to make the company more valuable. And this is not just something which helps you to make me happy that we have a workflow and we can integrate AI. It's something which should be for you helpful and should make you happy because now you see where are the gaps. And I say, well, if you have from these 5 people writing down the weather script, one who's doing it on his own way but take the 10 times long to write this weather script, please him to check out the written down way. It makes it way more easier. Any questions about workflows?
Question here, yes.
Yeah. By understanding my business as a public broadcaster, trust is a very important thing. So when it comes to AI, it's about fake news also. You said that I cannot really know where the information comes from. Will there ever be a way that the path is shown? So this is where the information comes from, and that's where the AI crept information and put it out like that. Is this path ever be shown?
Directly shown, it will be referenced that you can see it. For example, we have one release from I'm not sure, some weeks ago from Gemini, where they made some updates to have sources down your result. This is the first step to show more proof about the information where it got from. And this is something where ChatGPT has some challenge. It's not that they can't do it. They can do it, but the problem is by writing down it and try to show the sources and the references, they needed to change some parameter. The parameter are creative or precise. And if they make it a bit too precise to show references and show the path, the text didn't sound so good. And that's why they every time now in the basic version has a bit more creativity, but he is hallucinating or giving you some information which is not real, or he just wants to make you happy that you got a text. And this is what is now improving, and they're changing and making a lot of updates. So I'm pretty sure it will come soon by other platforms also. Google has the first version also already integrated, and also other suppliers are going on this way.
Maybe we go to point 4?
Sure.
To quite a bit of prompting, I must say.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of prompting. I must say, if you want to start with AI and you have no idea, just use some large language model and start the conversation. And if you start, mostly it would look like this. I have seen so many chat histories, and this is how it starts. Then I had the very cute answer by the question, why you writing it on a way like it's a human? I'm scared of AI, and I don't want them to kill me in the future. Yeah. Well, okay, it's understandable, but you need to understand. Machine learning, what we have here, first of all, don't have emotions. Doesn't matter if you're good to them or not. The second thing is that if you write all this information around, which is not related directly to your answer you want to have, this will be a bit problematic because large language models are based on probability calculations. So it's calculating the context word by word on the next probability, which word and phrase should be at the next place. This means all the information you put more on it, which is not worth it, can misinterpret the calculations.
What you're saying is being polite is useless. So saying please only confuses the machine.
For sure, I would be polite to you, Martin.
Well, yes, but I'm not an AI yet.
Yeah, but for the AI, it is on the way to get the result. To be over polite, you don't need to do it. It's worthless, yeah, and you're useless. Yeah. But there was very recently, like 1 week ago, a study from VMware. I couldn't integrate it. I had to deliver too early the presentations. They made a study about how machine learning works and the promptings behind it. And they find out, what I never would suggest, is if you are confirming, not polite, confirming, they're getting better. For example, we will write a text, it will be great, dot. The text result, they don't know why, but it became better than without it. And that's what they found out in a study of thousands of prompt testings, and they made a complete study about it from VMware. Just 1 week released ago. If you want to know the URL reference, just contact me. If you go more with ChatGPT and you train, you're stopping being polite and you just write down the things what you need. For example, write a podcast episode as a dialogue between Max Müller, Svea Suse of the topic warm-up rituals for marathon beginners over 40. Just some podcast idea we once had in mind. So yeah, could be very cool, but...
What was the prompt that you were using? Oh, this is the prompt. This is the prompt.
What they learned, what was the best prompt?
From
the study.
To be commanding.
Yeah.
To be clear and
Yeah.
commanding. Yes.
And if you continue using ChatGPT, you will write on this way. Then you need think about it, and the text result you're criticizing, it's not as good as you think, it's not as in your wording, it's not in your tonality, your brand communication don't fit to it. So you start putting intention, target group information, and your prompt will look like this. And you're mind-blowing because you have now everything put into it. This is sometimes if you work more and more on prompting, this is the most prompts look like. You put a lot of information. You can put some information for sure also into your instructions for the system in ChatGPT that all chat you're using has the same settings. But if you write it prompt by prompt, it will look like this. And we developed some small variation of it to get more agile and more efficient, that we can automate all this stuff. Because this is very hard for me to automate, because we need to figure out in which phrase we put which sentence and what. So to be honest, the next prompt started because we were lazy writing prompts. So it looks like this. We're getting the same results out of it. But because we were annoyed to write so much, so we shrink it down and we tested it if it works. And then we find out this is cool because it's like a checklist for each part. Did I include it into my prompt? That I am more precise on it? We call it a simplified prompting structure. It can be that this was there on some other ways. Some other people have written about it. I haven't found it in the internet. This is how we figured it out by ourselves. But I can't put a label on it because it's about prompting, not my...
But it's an interesting aspect, because there was this old IT joke where you go to IT department and say, I have a problem with my computer. The IT guy usually tells you the problem most of the time sits in front of the computer.
Absolutely.
So here is a bit of the same thing. The magic is not necessarily in the machine itself. The magic is to be learning how to use it. What do I have to put in so I get the right stuff out?
Absolutely. And if you see, if you start writing, creative writing, or you start to write a press release, you have many informations how your station works, but you know that, for example, your target group is between 30 and 39. You're more for technology-driven people. You're more for people which like rock music. These are all information from your brand you know and have your mind. But if you start writing it, it comes out of your mind, and you're set up into this framing that you have all this information in your brain. The machine don't have this information. So you need to deliver this information to them, to the GPTs, to the large language models, that they know what is the intention of this article, of this podcast, of this content piece. What is your target group? What you're talking about? What should be the title, or can be the title? Should I write a title for you? Whatever. These are all informations the ChatGPT don't know.
Let's go to point 5, shall we? If there are no questions, let's go to point 5. You have a question, sir. Sorry.
Hi, Michel Collin from France. Are the prompts always better in English than other language?
Very, very good question. To be honest, yes. All machine learning models except Quendo from China and Mistral from AI are mostly on English trained. I guess Mistral has also a lot of French content into it, but the most one are trained on mostly English data, and all the machines are working like this, that it takes your German, France, Italian prompt, translate it before, putting it into the machine, makes the understandable, the working, gives out some English output, and before it delivers to you, it gives you the Italian version of it. That's why sometimes it don't sound native speaking. It sounds rare, strange, and it's very good advancing in the translation, but this is how it works.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we go to last point, 5 more minutes.
I propose that we build a robot who can love.
Love. Yeah, you are not forced to build a robot who can laugh or using an AI for whatever you want. I would recommend you to build up a strategy. It don't need to be a concept paper over 120 pages. We start with all of our clients to write down some action points, what you will reach, what are the next steps, and most importantly, you need to provide a budget. If you don't do it for example, consultancy service from us or others, or for the tool, you need to have some budget to, let's say, play around and find the right way for your station. Without a budget, it's not possible. We're not talking about 100 and 200, 300,000 of euro. We're just talking about a specific amount which is reasonable for your size. Mostly, it can start between 1 to 3K a month on a base that you're able to get some tools, test around, be able to shut this tool down because it don't work for you, checking out some other tools, and this is some learning you need to know. And it's absolutely okay to fail. We tested so many tools and we failed on so many tools using it because they were not practical for us. We didn't like it. It didn't help us on such level. We had to pay 1 month but couldn't cancel after this 1 month. So I would recommend you try it and give your team the possibility, select some tools and test around how it can help their work, and give them and please them to give the reasons why we should use it. And can you show what we have done, how time saving it is? Does it give you better ideas? It's improving your content, engaging more with your community and your audience. Yeah, hopefully.
I'll be back.
So if you have any question on that part, you're welcome to visit us on our booth, or asking now the last 2 minutes, I guess.
I have a question. I think it has become clear that AI or machine learning or whatever you want to call it is not only about artificial voices. Artificial voices are arguably one small part about what the whole thing does. If you started a radio station tomorrow, and you would probably use AI in one form or another, what's the first hands-on thing that you would do?
With a team?
Yes.
With a team, I would train my team to write correct prompts to create cool and engaging content with ideas which are not like the basic radio output you get from someone who has no idea about radio. Like, I have no idea. And if I would start it, I would use this AI to get some ideas, to get more attracting content, engaging content. And for this, I would use ChatGPT to start.
Just to start playing around?
Yeah, playing around, yeah.
Okay. Question.
Hi, Anders from Denmark. We were discussing AI presenters in the radio, and radio being the most trusted media of all. We can agree if there's a problem for listeners listeners trusting a computer radio presenter or news presenter. Is there any study or anything in that direction that you've heard of?
Yeah, we work together with 2 cool companies from Germany with our hosting an AI radio. This is not a technology built by us. We just consulting them around and helping them. This where one company is working with Futuri and created Radio GPT, a big GPT, and the other one is working with Radio Cloud. And I know both, and it is not a matter of which tool, which voice. It is something which is evolving. You need to know, for the most people, AI is there since November 2022. So it's something very new. And they are scared, and they don't know, like you said, they don't have the trust. And this is what you need to do if you start with it. Start on a stream with an AI host and give them the proof that the information is valid. Give them specific content ideas which you normally as hosts will not get. For example, having a 24/7 station where you can give I was a gamer, so let's say gaming news, and you put new content on it, and you can reference it directly to the website, so they know these informations are right. And this is what I would recommend, to start on a separate stream.
But will the listeners, will we lose the trust from our listeners?
If you just switch your complete station in the beginning, I would say yes. Over time, it will increase again. But now they're very much afraid. So I would start with a separate stream and then go step by step to it.
Maybe I can add, I think the trust of your listeners is the most valued thing that you have as a radio station. So I'd be very careful to overwhelm them with something that they don't really get or understand. And I personally, I would be very cautious about labeling a station an AI station, because I don't think there's much worth in it. I think the value of the stuff that Hermann has been telling us lies rather under it. It's in the system. It's how can you use it? How can you make your life easier with it? And replacing DJs or replacing trust is probably the very last thing you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I didn't plan for that, but this is all we have time for. Yeah. So please do find Hermann if you have more questions. You see he's a dictionary of AI, and he's real. So talk to the man.
I just brought some gifts.
Yes, good.
If someone want to have it, this is just a small summary of workbook. If you don't get one, you get one at our booth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh.